Hey friend, it's Brian here. Look, we usually get together on this YouTube thing to discuss music, our favorite artists or artists that you guys let me know about, songs, live performances, music videos. But it's summer, and as much as music is a part of summer, so is movies. So I want us to get together and discuss some of the movies that I'm watching. Hopefully, we can watch them together and talk about it, okay? And definitely one movie or miniseries that is on the hearts and minds of a lot of people right now is When They See Us on Netflix. And that is a four-episode miniseries directed, produced by Ava. I want to say Ava DuVernay. Um, and the subject matter is about the Central Park Five, as they're called, which was a group of black and brown or African American and Hispanic uh, teenage boys in New York City in 1989 who were accused and convicted of rape and attempted murder and several other charges of a Caucasian woman who happened to be in Central Park and was attacked at that same time that they were in Central Park. And they were accused, convicted of those crimes, and spent years in jails, um, different jails, years in jails, and was exonerated years later after a confession by the actual rapist, and so that's what this is about. It's a heavy, heavy topic, but I'm so glad now that we have come so far as a people that we have the means to tell stories, okay, and expose truths. We can't really eradicate everything wrong in the world, but one great thing that we have now is the ability to tell stories and tell stories in beautiful ways that people can actually hear them. You know what I mean? Ew. And I think that's beautiful. That's one of the great things about movie making and filmmaking. Of course, it's to entertain, but it's also to tell truths and to get people's stories out there. So let's just get into it. So again, this is on Netflix. This is a um, four episode series. The first episode is one of the hardest ones because that's when everything goes down. It's one of the hardest ones to get through. Um, these were young boys. These were young boys. They were 14, 15. And basically what happened is that after the crime occurred, the the police department, I'm not sure what borough, but we're just gonna say the NYPD. I believe that encompasses all of them. They wanted to get the conviction. They wanted to blame someone for the crime, and it was the idea of this lady who I guess was running the department or running the case, Linda. Fair, Linda. Well, her last name is not important. Linda decided that the boys had to be involved. They could not be involved because they were in the park. Like Central Park is not big enough to have other like Central Park is not big enough to have other people in it and have other people commit a crime. Anyway, it was her idea that they had to be involved, so they were involved as far as she thought and believed, and she made it that they were involved by any means necessary. And the any means necessary was taking these young boys and holding them hostage, but holding them like in questioning for hours. I think it was up to 48 hours without lawyers, without representation, without their parents, without food, probably without water. They were beaten, they were threatened, and into saying what the cops wanted them to say, into the narrative that the cops needed them to say in order to get the conviction. They were coerced. It was painful to watch that play out. So painful to watch that. It was so painful because they were children. They were children, and no one deserves to um, not be protected. And in fact, people who have committed worse crimes are more and again, this was in 1989, but people who are committed worse crimes are more protected because I mean, you could say it's skin color sometimes, but it's also just because like the worst, like let's say like a bomber or a terrorist, they want to go through the correct procedures to make sure that they convict that person because they know for sure it was them. So because they were like lying, they went through, they did what liars do, and they beat and they lied and they harassed and they threatened. It was hard to watch. It was just hard to watch. They took advantage of the sorry. So the five young boys who are now men. Their names were Antron McCroy, Kevin Richardson, Yusef Salim, Corey Wise, and Raymond Santana. Okay, I want to make sure we say their names. They took advantage of Raymond Santana's grandmother, who did not speak English. They took advantage of that. His father worked, and still had to provide. So he went to work, not thinking that he was in the trouble that he was in. And they took advantage of the fact that the grandmother was there, and even though she didn't even understand everything, they still kicked her out to further coerce this young boy into implementing the other boys and also implementing themselves. The worst thing is that they lied on each other and didn't gain anything from it. Like it was none of them gained anything from it. None of it. After watching, they taped these. They had these boys sign confessions, and they also taped confessions as well that they used against them in a court of law. And that was hard to watch. What was equally hard to watch that I didn't get through, I watched like 15 seconds of it, if that, was to watch the real tapes. Oh Lord, to watch the real tapes, the real confessions, and you can just see that they're lying. You can just see that they're lying. It was, I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch that. I couldn't watch it after watching watching their story. To see that was hard. To just imagine what they went to up to that point, and to know what was going through, seeing their real faces of the real. That was heartbreaking. I couldn't get through it. I don't think I will. So now let's just talk about acting. Acting. I don't even know what to talk about, but let's just first off, Linda. In real life, there's a petition to cancel Linda. I'm not really always on the cancel bandwagon. That's just not who I am as a person. But I am totally about canceling Linda. Linda, listen, Linda, you canceled with me. I'm not reading your books. If that Double Jeopardy is that, she has a book called Double Jeopardy, and if that Double Jeopardy book is what inspired the movie with Ashley Judd, we canceling that movie too. Sorry, Ashley, I can't watch it. I'm sorry, I can't, because she railroaded these kids. Linda was portrayed by Felicity Huffman. Look, Felicity, sis, this was not the role for you, sis. You already in trouble as it is. Not with me, but with the people. They're already out to get you. Now I ain't got nothing for you, because right now I'm associating you with Linda. And look, I'm canceling Linda. I don't want nothing to do with anything that revolves Linda. It's like that B word that kills Selena. Whenever I see the actress that played her, I'm like, that's that B that kills Selena too. Like, I associate the two with each other. And I know that's an ignorant perspective, but when I see her in another movie, I'm like, oh no, turn that off. That's that B that kills Selena. Because it's just association. It's just association. I know she's an actress. She deserves to live her life and to have other opportunities, but the association that she is that woman that kills Selena is just a lot. So Felicity, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get past the fact that you done put these boys in jail. Excuse me. I know you didn't do it, and Linda did it. But the story that I saw, you was the one that did it. And you're already in trouble, Felicity. Girl. But I'll be real upset if Felicity Huffman winds up going to jail and Linda walk free. Okay? Why Felicity going to jail? In my mind, for playing Linda, but I know it's not. I know she's not going to jail for playing Linda. She's going to jail for her own actions. And Linda walking around free, made millions of dollars, I assume, off of them books and stuff. Oh no. Justice needs to be served. And I think it will one way or another. It will, okay? So that's that. Felicity Huffman is a good actress. I didn't like her in the movie, I guess. I'm not. Let's not sing. No, I can't sing no praises for Felicity Huffman when doing something like this. It's a tricky line. You know how, as an actor, what can't you say? Are you supposed to say yes to roles like this? 'Cause I really feel like this is a misstep. I don't know if I like Felicity Huffman right now. Okay, I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, I gotta move. I got to move past Felicity Huffman because she really worked my nerve. I was really happy to see John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo he was always someone that I really recognized as a kid, as an actor. I don't know what it was, but I always just recognized them, and I always liked them. And I always like seeing him. He's a comedian, of course. I love watching his one-man shows that really teach you so much about the Latin culture. Because I really wish I had more experiences in Hispanic cultures and Latin world. Because I'm curious about it. It seems I don't know, and all the it's so family oriented. There's just a lot of things that just seem so beautiful to me that I'm curious to know more about. So I appreciate John Leguizamo for teaching me and educating me on his story of his people. But I'm always also excited to see him do dramatic roles as well to really test his acting range. And he did a really good job in this piece, playing a father who really just didn't who didn't know better. I mean, it's a classic case of just not knowing better to be able to do better. And of course, John Leguizamo played the father of Raymond Santana, and he essentially left his son. You know what I mean? Like for a lot of the boys, their problems were that they didn't have guardians there. But in this case, John Leguizamo, or the Raymond Santana Sr., brought his son to the jail. Of course, he brought his mother with him, but left. So he essentially put it in a way it could be seen like he put his son in that situation. There really was no way out of it because those cops, and they're going to do what they're going to do. But he portrayed that really well, like that he portrayed it very well. Okay. Niecy Nash was up in there. She played the mother of Corey Wise. She did an incredible job playing a struggling African American single mother who's had a lot more on her plate than she could really deal with, and was angry and was still trying and didn't have hope, but still had hope, and it was just so multi-layered. Niecy Nash has come a long way from Reno 911. That's what it's called, right? She has come a long way. And she does Claus in the City. I would love to audition for Claus. I would love to just meet her as well. I know that she is out and about sometimes in New Orleans. Just tell her congratulations on her journey. She's come a long way, and she is an actress. She is an actress, okay? She did what she had to do in that movie. Niecy Nash is an actress. She's not just a comedian, she's a force. And she was incredible in this. And I hope that doesn't go overlooked. I hope that doesn't get overlooked. She was incredible in this. And I'm excited to see and curious to see what's in store for her future acting wise. Okay. Donald Trump made an appearance, and it wasn't nobody playing Donald Trump. It was Donald Trump in his own actual words, and he became president, and it's sad. And that's all I want to say on it. Like, basically, because I mean, I don't want to spoil the movie, but this is real life and it already happened. He basically, for these teenage boys that are 14, 15 years old, he basically was like, they should get the death penalty, right? Young boys should get the death penalty. And it wound up that they were not even guilty. Just to be so reckless with your words, especially when you have so much power and influence. I just don't understand how he still has that, because in my mind, from my perspective, he's still as reckless with his words, and he has even more power and influence. And it doesn't make sense to me. And ironically enough, I read a story on Facebook. The youngest execution that by death penalty was a 14-year-old black boy who was indeed innocent of the crime he committed, was accused of committing. So things like this has been happening for a while. Jean Grey was up in this thing too. I kind of blame Jean Grey. I kind of really blame Jean Grey. Because first off, she could have, comedic moment, she could have went to Professor X and was like, you know what, let's do something. She could have called Storm or somebody up in this thing and was like, look, we need to handle this. There's that. But actually, Jean Grey, I mean, I feel like she just gave the case over to Linda. And maybe I missed something, but I felt like Jean Grey could have been like, no, Linda, you're not taking this case. And that's not, her name wasn't Jean Grey, but I couldn't remember what her name was. And she came back towards the end and was like, look, Linda, listen, Linda, I'm putting you in your place, Linda. But she should have been did that, in my opinion. Jean Grey could have been did that. Oh, Lord, y'all getting mad. But Jean Grey is a good actress. And then obviously the stand-up. Before we get to that one, I really enjoyed the performance by the young Kevin. His name is Asante Black. I thought he was fantastic. He did a really good job. He portrayed this innocence, this broken child. It was hard. It was really, really hard to watch. Just thinking about it breaks my heart a little bit. So I had to move on. But he did a really, really good job doing that. And then the stand-up performances by Jerome, I think I'm saying it right, who played Corey Wise. So first, starting off, who's Corey Wise? Corey Wise wasn't even, I don't even know if Corey Wise was at the park. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not even sure if he was at the park that night. Corey Wise was a friend of Yusef Salim. He went to the jail because Yusef got picked up for questioning. Corey wasn't even being questioned. He just went along to, the cops said, you want to come and be with your friend? He went along to be with his friend. He was in the waiting room, fell asleep when Yusef's mom came pick him up. And Yusef's mom really, bless her heart, but she worked my nerve because she had tunnel vision for her child, which in a sense I can't blame her for. But I also blame her for it because there were 4 other boys who were in horrible positions as well. And perhaps if they all banded together, they could have really fought the fight. But individually, it did not work, which is what the cops wanted. And she was just in that crabs and barrel tunnel. She left Corey out to dry. They walked right past Corey. I'm not now in the movie. I'm not sure that's what happened in real life, but Corey was not even a part of this. He wasn't supposed to be. And if she just had enough thought to just say, "Baby, did you come here with somebody?" Just to talk to her child. I don't know. And why Yusef wasn't. I don't know. They went through a traumatic ordeal, so I understand like that wasn't going through their mind. But no one was there for Corey. No one was there for Corey, and he was just in the waiting room. And Linda. They were like, well, it's not going to work with Antoine. It's not going to work with Kevin. It's not going to work with Yusef. It's not going to work with Raymond because none of the stores are just, they're all canceling each other out. But we got one more person in the waiting room. So they turned him and they took him from the waiting room and put him in the jail. Beat him up. And poor Corey, he had some learning disabilities. So the fast talking and all of that cop work really, oh, it broke him. It really broke him. It really confused him, and he fell victim to it. And he fell victim to it. He wound up going to jail, and he went to jail for the longest out of all of them. And because he was slightly older, he was 16, I believe, or he was 16 or 15 or 16. He went to an adult prison instead of going to juvenile. He got beat. He was treated bad. He was in jail for the longest. So he went to the adult jail. He was in jail for the longest, and he wasn't even one of the original 4 people who were picked up for questioning. He just went there to visit his friend. So the actor that played Corey Wise was Jerome. He was magnificent. So in the movie, there was a younger version and an older version of each of the boys. I thought that was the case for Corey Wise as well. It wasn't until I saw an article later that I realized that they said that Jarrell played both characters. He played the older and younger version. I'm like, what? I was just so fixated on the movie, I didn't catch that. I didn't catch it. It was just Corey for both of them for me. Well, I'm like, you know what? He's fantastic. And I guess, I don't know what happened in the audition process. It was like, well, let's just have him play both characters. But it was a great decision because I couldn't tell the difference. He is fantastic. I recognized him. I didn't know where from, but he was in a movie I like on Netflix called Match, I believe, or Match First, I believe. It's a wrestling movie. And he's also in Moonlight. And baby, Moonlight was stacked with some heavy hitters that were just kind of on the rise. He's fantastic. I hope he gets a recognition. I hope this opens doors for him in acting. That he has a long career. I can't wait to see what else he does, and I would love to meet him and work with him. I'm just like his biggest fan right now, and I didn't expect for this to talk this long about it. But if you have Netflix or know someone with Netflix, watch it. Whether you're black or white or any other color on the spectrum, it's an important movie to watch. It just really is, to understand what it's an important movie, so you know who not to be in this world. Okay, it's really important to know who not to be in this world, and that's why you should watch it. And that's all I got to say, friends. We're going to be coming together this summer to watch movies together, and we're going to talk about it. So drop down the comments, let me know what movies we need to watch, and we can talk about it. So also drop down the comments, let me know once you watch it, talk to me about it. I'll try to talk back to you guys, and so hit the subscribe button so you can watch some movies together all summer long. All right, I love you. Peace.